So 2026 trend reports and outlooks and are starting to come out. And I think what they have to say is really interesting. And also how the internet reacts to them, I feel like is almost more telling than the actual trends themselves that come out. For Pinterest Predicts for 2026, there is so much that didn't surprise me at all. So much of it is very analog. It's all about like tactile textures. There's so many vintage references, sensory experiences, escapism, emotional resets, nostalgia, and I feel like for the Pinterest ones, people get really excited about this, not only because it feels like when they get it right, which from my experience and what I've seen online, they have gotten it right this year. It really connects with them. It makes them feel seen. It really makes, consumers feel like they're being represented in some way through this Pinterest Predicts, and what, the future is going to hold. I also think there is a comfort as well of like knowing what the direction is going to be, especially as I feel like month to month things get even more unpredictable and even more like, from left field of what's going on in the world. People really love curation. It like reminds me of, in the creative industry a lot we talk about like creativity without boundaries is much harder than creativity within them. And so I feel like this is like a good example of how people are figuring out how to find themselves within the boundaries of like the cultural context versus just like trying to do it on their own. It's like almost feels like insurmountable and difficult. Um, so yeah, there's something like to be said about that. Um, and then on the flip side, we have the Pantone color of the year, which was white. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes,
It's
cloud or something, right?
cloud dancer.
There you go.
And what was so funny about the photo, if you've that they posted, it's of, somebody all in white, there's clouds, and then there's, blue sky through it, and I was looking at this and I was like, "The blue sky is so like, that color is so much more grounded
Mhm.
and interesting than the actual color that they picked."
Yeah.
Um, and it's something like that people saw this and it was like, "This doesn't feel true. I need something that feels optimistic. I need something that's going to, like, motivate me into the next year to, like, rally behind, a message to rally behind." And the Pantone color of the year is one of those things that, people kind of rally behind and
Mhm.
help set the tone for the year. So when people saw that it was white, people were like, "This is recession indicator. This
Yeah.
is telling me that there's no color and life and brightness in the
Uh-huh.
world to come," and nobody
Yeah.
wants to hear that.
That's pretty much my reaction. I was like, "Oh, okay." Like,
Yeah.
white, yay, And they're like, "No, it's cloud dancer." It's like, "No, nobody fucking cares." It's like when you it just reminds me of that, Sex and the City episode, right, where she's like, "Is it a crew or is it like,"
Yeah, yes.
nobody really cares about the subtleties of like beige or white,
Mhm,
it's just so boring. I agree it could have been this moment of brightness. Like I tweeted about them as like a petition for that green, that's like has been all over, Twitter that
mhm,
goes, viral every so often, for that to be like just vibrant, and just like maximalist, right? Like I feel like we're in an age of how much minimalism, and that whole millennial grayish thing that happened
mhm.
that was such a trend for so long. I do wonder if the point was like, well, everything's kind of like drab and blah, and there isn't that optimism in the country. So let's just go with like, something neutral like white. But yeah, it just didn't really hit for me.
Uh Yeah, I think that the intention of it was, for it to feel like serene and it's like, people are looking for peace.
Yeah.
And so like I think especially being like it's clouds, like dreamy, like relaxing, that kind of idea was where I thought they were going, where I
Mhm,
think they were going with it, but
mhm,
I totally agree. Like we're especially, like if you look at something that really connects with culture, which is like the Pinterest predicts, that was telling the story of, like, maximalism,
mhm,
deep colors, vibrancy, escapism, like, all of these things that are very tactile and rich and, like, something that feels, like, very grounded, and
mhm.
so to, like, go white, it's just, like, this, like, it it shows, what we talked about companies being out of touch. Coming off of last year's too, the one for 2025 was Mocha Mousse, which was brown.